I just want to show you guys a few equations that you're going to have on the Delta Math assignment that we have. As you can see, there are 3 questions, and they get a little bit more challenging as we go. So this assignment is going to give me a good idea of what we know from last year, from our interrupted year of remote learning and in-person learning, and what we need to get to. This is going to be a part of geometry. If you don't feel like you're an expert at it just yet, no problem. We'll just work at it and we'll get the idea. All right, let's start easy and work up a little bit. Here is an equation. I have negative 16 equals 4x. My first step is to isolate the variable. And so I draw a line. That line represents division. So again, x is equal to a negative divided by a positive is a negative. 16 divided by 4 is a negative 4. And so there's our answer to that first question. Here's the next one. And early on, I like to give a question like this, and people will just dwell on this fraction because fraction can be problematic for people. But we're going to start the same way. We're going to isolate the variable. Here's the variable right here. We're going to leave it alone. I don't care about this right now. I don't care about this right now. This goes with that. What I want to do is get this negative 11 over to the other side. So I've decided to leave the variable on the right. So how I'm going to do that is I'm going to add 11 to both sides. Now, some people will draw a line underneath here or underneath here. I don't do that because lines mean division to me. But if you like that and it works for you, yeah, by all means, do it. Negative 3 plus 11 is a positive 8. That goes away. And again, some people will cross that out. I don't. Crossing out means canceling to me. But if it works for you, again, go ahead and do it. Don't forget that minus. That's a very common mistake there, is that people will drop that minus that goes in front of this. All right, so now what do I do? Well, I got to get the y by itself. Right now, y is being divided by 11. If I'm really advanced solving these types of equations, I can do this. Division by 11, the inverse operation is times, right? I'm going to times by negative 11. Some might say, well, I wouldn't have done that. I would have just times by 11. Why is he doing negative 11? Well, I'm kind of doing 2 steps at once. Okay, I'm getting rid of the negatives just to make the y have a positive value in front of it. The 11s cancel. Negative times a negative is a positive, so those are gone. And so what I'm left with is y. And then negative 11 times 8 is a negative 88. Okay, so right here, when we got to number 2, this might be a question that we need more practice with. So just be prepared for that. Okay, here's 3. Last one I want to show you guys. Number 3. Again, I'll have some students that will subtract 3 from both sides, and there's an x. Then they distribute. I combine first. I see 2 x's. Here's an x here, and here's an x there. So my first step, before I start moving to the other side of the equation, is I'm going to combine. Okay. So distribute, this is called the distribute property. 2 times 3 is 6x. 2 times a negative 5 is a negative 10. Plus 3x plus 3 is equal to 20. Now combine. 6x plus 3x is a 9x. Negative 10 plus 3 is a negative 7 is equal to 20. Now it looks more like a doable equation. Probably one that you're more familiar with from last year's experience in algebra or whenever you had your algebra class. So now I'll get the x by itself. I'm going to add 7. I get 9x equals 27. Divide by 9. I get x is equal to 3. Now, I know these last 2 questions are pretty advanced. They're pretty challenging questions for good algebra students. So please don't feel overwhelmed by how quickly we went through that. We'll have a Delta Math. I'd be happy to do those questions as well. Look forward to talking to you guys about these types of questions. Thank you.